I'm Scott L. Miller. It's the 3rd of June, 2022, and welcome to my vlog of daily life in Nicaragua. I'm here in Leon. I'm actually on the south side of La Borrillo, doing a little walking around, as I often do for the show. And I'm gonna get this cute cat. Because he was cute and he was hanging out. So, this week is continuing to be super busy. Now, I said that was going to be the case. This is not a surprise. So, there's no, it's not like, oh no, it's so busy. No, this is just how this week was going to be. So, knew that getting the show out this week is a big challenge. But all is going well. Today, I spent the whole morning working again. Actually worked until really, really late. Tonight, Liesl has a new video game that she wants to play, Danganronpa 3. So she's been playing that. Luciana's been hanging out with her, and that is how they've been spending their day. So this, for me, just work all day, and the kids have been hanging out doing their own thing, and that's really about it. Like, it was just really busy. So, so that's it, right? That's the whole story. I'm gonna still be busy tomorrow. I've got a lot of work that's going on. I've got a big migration that's coming up. I'm actually so busy that filming's a problem, so I just had to grab the GoPro. I'm like several days in the future and just had to walk out. I didn't even have my lavalier today because I'm so just trying to squeeze in the show. But I had some questions that came up about shipping things, and a lot of people have asked this, right? A bit about shipping things to or from Nicaragua, and some people have asked about the postal service, like can I get letters and things, and some people have asked about shipping like products, whether it's something they're buying or something they're making, they want to ship away, whatever. And I think this is something that's really worth addressing and have a little bit of an episode about, because it's a big deal, and I think it's one of the harder things for expats who are moving to Nicaragua to really internalize and understand just how big of a deal this is and how they have to change their thinking when it comes to getting things compared to wherever they're coming from. Whether you're coming from the US or Canada or even Mexico, you're used to things like Amazon and like big box stores and really good internal shipping, FedEx, UPS, DHL, that sort of thing. Your ability to purchase a product, whether online or through mail or whatever, and have it shipped to you, or your ability to have something that you want to sell to somebody and ship it out, is all crazy easy. Like, we don't really appreciate living in those countries, just how much they have that stuff figured out. And it makes life really simple and cheap for those kinds of businesses or those kinds of activities. So it's important to realize that those places have this incredible ability, even better than most of Europe, to buy and sell things and physically move them around. And it's one of the things that really drives the economy in North America, is just how easy it is to get stuff from place to place. All right, so let's talk about what it's like in Nicaragua. Here in Nicaragua, the idea that you can ship things more or less doesn't exist. I'm not gonna say it doesn't exist, because there are exceptions. But by and large, the mentality has to be that you are not going to do those activities anymore. If you wanna purchase something, you are going to travel to a store and you're gonna buy it yourself. If you don't wanna do that, you're gonna hire someone to do that. And lots of people do that, so that's fine. And for many people, that actually becomes a convenience greater than what you had in the United States. Sure, in the US, I can go on Amazon, order a product and have it at my house maybe tomorrow, maybe by tonight, right? Like, same day delivery is a thing, and that's amazing. And every time I'm there, I like to order a bunch of stuff from Amazon to remind myself that that stuff can happen. But that's not honestly as convenient in many cases as saying, I need all my groceries, and having someone just go to the grocery store and get all your groceries for you. Like, seriously, sometimes having someone do stuff for you is easier. I have a telephone company, and I explain this to people all the time. They'll say, well, with your competitor, we're able to go onto a really simple website and do all this work, and it's really convenient. They have a great website for it. And I say, okay, their website is better than ours, I'll give you that, but they also make you do all that work yourself. We do all that for you. That's why we don't have that website. Our customers don't have to do those things, right? So think of it in a similar way. Sure, ordering from Amazon is easier than ordering from the store here in Nicaragua, but I don't need to order. I can send someone to the store for me and make all the choices and make the decisions and deal with the whole thing and get it right now, right? So you have to kind of rethink how things work. Maybe that's not how you want to do things. Maybe you want to do the shopping yourself. That's fine. And then it's going to be just a little bit less convenient. You're going to need to go shopping, and there's going to be a lot fewer things. We've talked about this before. We don't have a country full of consumer goods Everything you need is here. You can go get a Wi-Fi unit. We bought some today. You can go get cabling. You can go get a computer. You can go get a car. You can go get a couch. You can go get a plastic bin. You can go get the things that you need in normal life. But if you have really specialty things, like I really like my Olympus OMD cameras, you can't buy that in country. It doesn't matter how hard you look, you can't, right? So what are my choices? How would I deal with that? Well, I can either buy it in the US and have it shipped in, or anywhere, right? And have it shipped in through a courier service, Nicabox or JB Cargo, right? I can ship it to them in the United States. They will put it in a box. They will get it here eventually. And my chances of actually receiving it are extremely high because they're professional services and this is what they do. And if they started losing things, they would go out of business. So they are pretty reliable and they handle all the complexities of customs and all the cost. And of course you pay for those services both in money and in time, because it's going to take you, I could order because I like to get used cameras. I could order a used camera and get it in 3 days in the United States because they're just shipping it from a warehouse. Great, I got my camera. Yes, it arrived at Nicabox. It'll be weeks until I get it, right? It's got to get into country. It's got to go through customs. It's got to then be delivered inside of country. All of that takes time. So you have to be okay with those delays, but you can get things you really need. The same is going to happen in reverse. If you have things here in country, whether it's something you're creating and you want to sell it, or you're like me and you've got a camera, maybe you want to sell a used camera because you want to move on to something else, you need to really think carefully about that, because the people in the United States or Canada or wherever you're shipping to are going to experience all the things that you just experienced in reverse. It's going to be a slow process of getting things into Nicabox, getting it into the United States, going through customs, dealing with all of that. As Americans, or as anybody living in any country, shipping things around your own country, you tend to forget that when you ship to another country, you're gonna have to deal with customs. The US is a giant market, and there's no customs in between states. So it's common for Americans, or Canadians in many cases, to forget that there's a customs overhead in doing business. But if you're an American and you try to ship to Canada or vice versa, customs is a big deal, and sometimes can cost as much as the product that you're shipping. So it does exist as problems in those countries. It's just that we often don't experience it because they're giant markets and we don't have to deal with it in between the different zones, which is normally where we're shipping things. Or things that have come into the country have already been imported before we ever receive them, so we don't have to think about that process because there's an importer involved. That's where someone like Nicabox comes in. They're going to handle your import-export for you, but there's going to be a cost in time and money. So what does that mean? It means you have to re-envision the world to fit this model, or you're going to be really sorry. Of course, you can just keep shopping on Amazon. That is a very old truck going down the road. You can keep shopping on Amazon and do all the things you used to do. You can make things and ship them from here. It will work more or less. You'll be able to figure out services that'll make it happen. But the overhead to all those things are going to make it take a long time and be quite expensive if you're getting things you could live without. So the way that most of us handle it is we change our way of thinking. We start using local things, and if we don't get it locally, we just don't use it. Now, if you're me, and like a lot of people, we travel back and forth from time to time. So if I want to buy a camera or a new lens or a new slider like I used in the video the other day, what do? I buy those things ahead of time, but just a little bit, right? A few days before I travel, I have them sent to family in Texas. And when we visit, I stop by and pick them up, open them up, make sure everything works, package it all up, put it into my luggage, and come back with it. Every single thing I've gotten in the last year, that's how I've gotten it. Yeah, it's a pain. Yes, I only can get something every 6 months, but it saves a lot of money, and I know that it's going to arrive and arrive quickly. I don't have to wait weeks for it to go through customs or whatever. I'm just coming through with in my luggage. Now, of course, you're limited in how much you can get, right? You need a new laptop? Great, you can get one. You need a new iPad? Great, you can get one. Need two? Nah, might be a problem. You're only supposed to be bringing in one. Are they gonna flag you for two? Probably not, but it could. Do you need office equipment that's a little bit commercial, like a desktop phone or specialty networking equipment? Technically, you're not supposed to bring those in without declaring it, and it's a big pain. You're gonna wanna bring that through Nicabox because they will handle that stuff for you, right? It's still legal to bring it in. You can do it. I've done it, but I had to pay a fee, not a penalty. I had to pay a fee, and part of that fee was 3 days of being in customs, and part of it was money, right? Hundreds of dollars, about the equivalent cost of the gear, about 100% cost of the gear, combined with 3 days of my time to bring it in. It was stuff I needed. I put up with it. It was the wrong decision. There are better ways to do it, but it can be done. far better. Use a service that is professional for that purpose and have them do it for you. Life is going to be better. Trust me. That change of mentality is hard. Partially because coming from North America, we're in the most buy-sell mentality market in the world, and coming here, you're in one of the least. It is a huge change in how you live. If you really love online shopping, you may see this as a pretty huge negative. Or you may see it as a way to cure your desire to do all that shopping. For me personally, I actually prefer this. Yes, I do love going on Amazon and buying things. I do love going on my used camera sites and buying new lenses and being able to get them and play with them. But you know what? I've changed the way that I think. And now, when I'm looking for a new lens, I will shop for 2 months looking for that lens. I will make sure I'm getting a good deal. I will make sure that it's exactly the one that I want. I'm not gonna get one that's like the one that I want. I'm not gonna get a black one when I really wanted a silver one. I'm gonna wait. I can wait for the perfect deal to come along, and when the right one does, and you've seen that I've bought lots of lenses this year, I'm able to get it, I ship it to my niece, she hangs on to it, and I can anticipate it for longer. I end up spending a lot less money, get exactly the things that I want, change which things I buy, right? I'm prioritizing things very differently, and spending a lot less money. So I feel like I'm actually getting a better overall experience because I have to have delayed satisfaction. I cannot simply run out and satisfy a shopping itch by running to the store. So to satisfy it instead, I do some shopping online. Oh, this looks good, this looks good. Well, let me compare. Let me think. Right now, if you haven't, so for those who haven't seen yet, we have a new video gaming channel, me and my kids and I, and we're recording that on my Tascam DR-07. It is the same one that Dominica and I used for all of our podcasting about 15 years ago. Seriously. And it is a wonderful device. I love my Tascam recorder, but at some point in the relatively recent time frame, it was crushed in our luggage and its screen is shattered. The back of it was ripped off. The screws are all ripped out of it. It has rattling bits inside of it. Still works pretty well. It is an amazing device. I love it. I want to replace it with a new one, right? So I want to get a Tascam DR or DX-07 or maybe the OT5. I'm still deciding there. And because they're only $10 difference, right? But I can't figure out which one I actually like more because the 5's a little bit smaller, more convenient. But that's going to be something that's going to take me at least 4 months to be able to get, unless I send it to a buddy that now that I'm saying this is another thing that happens. So my buddy Brian is heading down here in a few weeks. He may be watching this, so hey Brian, shout out to you. He's coming down, and that's an easy thing that he could bring along with him, so there's a really good chance I'm gonna buy it, ship it to him. It's a small thing, it fits in your pocket, right? He can throw it in his luggage and bring it down to me, and I'll meet him in Costa Rica, and I'll get it and I'll drive it across the border, no big deal, because you're allowed to have a small amount of stuff. You get 1 camera per person. You can definitely have 1 digital audio recorder for that camera. You can have a laptop, you can have an iPad, all that stuff. And really, I'm sure you can have a camera and a GoPro. Like, you can make a good argument that you get a little bit of stuff, right? They're not anal about it. It's not crazy, but if you bring in an amount of stuff that's absurd or stuff that is clearly not for personal use, you're very likely to get flagged. So just think about that. So if I need to get a desk phone for my office, if I need to get networking gear, I'm gonna ship it through Nicabox, or I'm gonna use something that is available in country. I'm just either gonna change what I need, or I'm gonna put in a little bit of effort to get the right thing. And yeah, you're gonna pay a little bit more, but you're gonna buy a lot less stuff. So it's an important change of lifestyle. It's an important way of thinking. Now, the original question that prompted this came up was someone who wanted to do work here in country, create products, and ship it outside the country. Of course, you can do that, but there is a reason why artisans here in the country and craftsmen and manufacturing really don't exist here, because the overhead of that shipping is onerous, both in effort and in money. I don't know exactly what those numbers are going to be, but shipping from here to the United States is going to cost easily as much as many products that you would ship out of here, right? If you were looking to do stuff like that, I would do a bit of research. I am not the expert on this, but I do know that Honduras, which is a wonderful country just around the corner, now it does not have all the advantages of Nicaragua, right? It is more expensive, but only by a tiny bit. It is more dangerous by a whopping amount, sorry, but there are really nice safe areas of it. Valley de Los Angeles is really, really amazing, but probably quite a bit more expensive. But there's cool parts, right? And I'm gonna be seeing some of it in just a couple weeks. So stay tuned. Hopefully I'll have more feedback on other parts of Honduras. I've been to Honduras twice. This will be my third and fourth time coming up, but I'm not going to be doing very much there, but I will see more of it. Hopefully get some pictures at least, if not video for you guys. And but Honduras is famously a place that does ship to the United States all the time and everywhere else. They are a manufacturing country. They are a powerhouse of manufacturing in the region. They make food and other products that go everywhere in the region. So half the stuff we get here is made in Honduras. Not really half, but more than probably anywhere else. When you're in stores and you see like pre-made food, chances are it's from Honduras. Could be Costa Rica, once in a while El Salvador. Honduras is the bulk of it for sure, and they make really good products. And they have lots of manufacturing. That's what San Pedro Sula is, a giant manufacturing city. They have a port right there, and they ship to the United States all the time. Chances are you're gonna have way easier time shipping from there at lower cost. I'm just hypothesizing, but that's very plausible. So you may get an important change in benefits by looking at a Honduras or an El Salvador and their relationship to the United States as far as a shipping partner. Nothing political, right? It's just who has the pathways with lots of ships or lots of trains or lots of trucks going back and forth. None of them have trains. There's no trains going through this region. Going back and forth on a regular basis can make all of the difference as to the cost and speed and reliability of that shipping process. Nicaragua just doesn't ship, right? We're very far away. You have to climb into the mountains with a truck. There's lots of extra borders to cross if you're going to ship from here by road. And if you're going by boat, we don't ship by boat directly to the United States normally, right? Our big port is Corinto, near here, just over there, here on the West Coast, and they primarily ship to China and Southeast Asia, right? That's where those ships are normally going, not to the United States, not to Long Beach. Could they go to Long Beach? Can it happen? Of course it can happen, but it's not. The United States and Nicaragua are not giant trading partners, so there's just not that constant shipment going back and forth. And then the other ports, the Port of Houston, New Orleans, Tampa, they're gonna ship to Calabeza in the east, up in the northeast of Nicaragua. That gets much less traffic. It is not the deep water port of Corinto, and that is very, very far away in the country, so you have a really big distance that you still have to put things on truck and truck it in to get to the populated part of Nicaragua. So that adds a lot of time and cost, and everything has to go through customs. So can you, or you could do all that in reverse if you're shipping out. So Nicaragua just lacks the external infrastructure for getting things in and out of the country that most of its local partners, local neighboring countries have, right? Panama has amazing connections everywhere. Honduras is pretty good. They've got big ports. Guatemala is okay. Mostly they do by road. I think El Salvador mostly uses the port at Honduras, and really I think Nicaragua uses the port at Honduras when it does do things, and that's partly why things are so expensive. We just have those extra hops. So you really have to just change the mentality, and I think for most people, I think mostly when you come here, it's simply an adjustment, and it's something you can say, okay, I'm not gonna ship anything physical if I can help it. I'm gonna do everything digital, right? Email instead of mail. That makes all of the difference on that. You can do video calls, right? Our internet is fantastic. You really can work around most of those things, and when you need products, you're gonna change what you buy, or you're gonna take an effort to really get the things that you want. And there's people calling to me. I'm well enough known that there's someone calling to me on a bridge, so I'm gonna go talk to him. Please put your comments below, like and subscribe, and I will see all of you tomorrow.